Broadcasting from the capital city, Madison, Wisconsin, and a very good morning to everyone out there,
Good morning.
including the guy with the garbage truck right outside our window. Hello there. Hello.
Is he out there?
Thanks for cleaning up the city.
Coming around the corner. They always keep State Street sparkling clean.
It is sparkling clean
They
down
keep
here.
it real nice.
What's that all about?
Well, they have to have the leaf blower guy out there, too, because there are so many leaves that pile up overnight. One or two, maybe three.
Yeah,
Gives
that's
them
true.
Something to do. Yeah, it's
another fantastic day.
isn't it, though?
I mean, we're saying it's 53 degrees, but we went out like with short sleeve shirts on, and we're sweating. So,
Well, it's a little warm in here, but yeah, it's nice outside.
oh, that's nice. It's nice.
A little
You don't
cloudy.
need a jacket, really.
Yeah, 53. Let's see what the high temperature. Let's just roll the balls here, whatever we got here. Whatever we got. Either one, either the...
Yes, roll our balls
The
there.
television... temperature balls or the... Okay. Is this the roulette? No, it's the... okay, the first number is 7.
The roulette wheel.
No, this is not the roulette wheel. This is
Oh,
the...
it's the lottery ball.
Thank you. Lottery balls. 72.
There we go.
72 will be our high today, and look for some showers this afternoon. So grab that umbrella as you walk out the door.
Check your wiping blades.
Yeah, check those wiper blades. So important. Okay.
All right.
So
are
it's
we
going to be
done
pretty
with that?
nice most of the day. Might a couple of scattered showers. Nothing to worry about. We'll
Really?
be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and then back to sunshine tomorrow and a high near 80 for
Wow.
Friday.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Well, that's fantastic because then we can grill out and
I
get ready
know.
for the weekend.
Yeah, I moved into this place. I didn't
Yeah.
know it. I'm rummaging around in the garage. They left a grill there.
Oh,
There's a grill. I'm like, whoa, okay. I'm set up.
you are set up. You've
Yeah.
got your little fire pit out there. They
Yeah.
left that for you.
Yeah,
Now you got a grill.
yeah. And
We can interchange them,
wait, what? Yeah, the fire pit and the grill. Yeah. And then so all I need is some patio furniture. And then, I happened to run into my ex-wife yesterday, and she said, "You need any patio furniture?" I said, "Well, yeah." And she said, "Well, you figure out how to come in." She's got tons of patio furniture for whatever reason. She kind of collects it. It's kind of a hobby. Yeah, okay.
All right.
She lives way out in the country. And
Well, that's
so,
good.
yeah, she's
that's
got
good.
that.
You got that.
So
coming
all I
too.
have to do is figure out how to get it here.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But yeah, so things are getting in place.
We're working on getting your kitchen table in as well.
Yeah. Wow.
We'll transport that today or
do you have
tomorrow.
do you have a way to do that?
I'm hoping I do.
Okay. You got to disassemble the table, though.
I do
don't you?
have to take it apart. Yeah.
Did you start on that process
And that,
yet?
well,
No.
the Kraken, which is my 1-year-old border collie puppy,
Yeah.
she is not happy with the table turned upside down.
You turned
It's
the
just-
tables on her?
I did turn the tables on her.
Okay.
And she is angry and
here,
barking at it and does not like the disruption in our home with an upside down table.
Really? Just
Yeah.
flipped out?
It just flipped out.
Wow.
You should slowly start turning everything else in the house upside down and
Yeah.
see how she
Yeah,
reacts.
see what happens.
It's just endless barking.
Okay.
It's crazy. I mean, if there's an extra car parked in the driveway,
Yeah.
oh, she goes nuts.
Really?
That shouldn't be there. That's just, what is that all about?
I had a border collie like that.
Yeah,
Never changed. I got to tell you.
I know.
Lived to,
I know.
10
I
or
got
11
two
years
border
old.
collies.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
just the way some of them are. They just, they can't take the change.
The female is a little antsy, a little nervous.
Yeah.
And the two males that we had previous were very well disciplined, easy to control. I mean, they were just fantastic dogs. This one we cannot control. Like if there's a dog barking on the TV, that's
Yeah.
it. We can't hear the movie for the rest of the
No
evening.
kidding.
Well,
That's it.
she just goes
Wow.
nuts. Cannot handle dogs on TV.
Oh, that's too bad.
In fact, she used to watch the, I think it was the Progressive commercial where they're on a dock.
Okay.
And they had dogs on there at one time. And she got used to that commercial.
Yeah.
So when that thing came on and they didn't have the dogs, she would still bark at it because she knew that that's the commercial with the dogs on it. We have a TV watching dog again.
Really?
Our first one was a TV watching dog. Mickey used to sit there and watch football, and oh boy, he hated golf. As soon as he heard the golfer, as soon as he heard the golfer go 4, and I don't know why, but he'd just bark and bark. He'd jump at the TV. Now, this is the tube day of TVs.
Yeah.
And that TV screen was all scratched up because he could hit that TV screen and just go after it. He did not like golf, just like me. You know?
Yeah, I see those videos on TikTok every once in a while of dogs watching TV and then jumping around and running, watching the horse races or watching whatever.
That's
If there's some activity, they really enjoy it. Other dogs they can't even see it.
One of the great things about dogs is that they love songs. They love certain songs. If you accidentally stumble on a song that they will sing to, it is just hilarious. It is. I play a lot of music in the house, and my first Border Collie loved the Banana Boat song.
Oh, no
Just
kidding.
loved, always sang to the Banana Boat song.
Okay.
Everything, and he even waited for the chorus. I mean, he just loved that song.
Yeah.
The second Border Collie, which passed away recently, he loved the original TV Batman theme. Now, this dog, we don't know what song she will react to.
Oh, we'll have to test that out. Well, have you ever had dogs, Sam? I've had a lot of dogs through my life.
Well, the one that we had when I was growing up acted more like a cat. It was just very chill and laid and slept all the time.
Oh,
It
I like
never
that.
never barked, never played fetch really.
Yeah.
Right now my parents have a golden doodle named Walter. And when you were talking about your dogs watching TV, John, I was going to jump in and say a couple years ago he watches TV. He's just chill about it. He'll sit on my mom's lap. But the one time I've ever seen him absolutely captivated by television is when we had the dog show on.
Oh.
Where they have all these dogs competing with each other and being shown. And he was just sitting there in the middle of our living room staring at the TV for 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
Fascinated.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He had his own show. His favorite show.
I got to get a dog again. It's been a couple of years. Almost.
Yeah, it's time for you.
Well,
now you're settling down. Now
once
you've got
I
a new place.
Yeah, once I get settled in.
Yeah.
It's going to take a few more weeks, I think, of moving and rearranging furniture and taking stuff upstairs and then changing my mind and taking it back
Did you
downstairs.
sleep on the bloody cot?
No. Last 2 nights I've been on the bloody cot. What? What kind of picture are you painting?
Anytime somebody leaves a folding cot in an empty apartment, something happened on that cot that they're afraid to take home.
No, I have my own bed there, and everything's fine. It's all good. Everything's are going very well.
All right. It's not haunted yet. You haven't found out whether it's something they didn't tell you about the place.
Sleeping very soundly. Right. There's no ghosts walking around. It is an old house, and, who knows.
If there are ghosts, just give us a call.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I was going to say, what are we, the Ghostbusters
now?
Yes,
we are. I'll bring Brett over, and we'll take a look around.
Speaking of that, let's get to the National Day calendar and see what's happening on this date, May 16th.
This is the most exciting part of the program.
Well, it can be, depending on what days it
All right, I'm going to try to single out the day that is not a real day today.
Okay, here's the list.
All right.
Is it Classic Movie Day? Is it Mimosa Day? How about Barbecue Day? How about National Chocolate Donut Day? Or is it Do Something Good for Your Neighbor Day? Honor our LGBT Elders Day, Piercing Day, Biographers Day, or Sea Monkey Day, or Love a Tree Day. That's a lot to choose from. Which one of those days does not belong?
Any of those jump Day.
That's wrong. That is actually a day, and it is today, Biographers Day. So that's it.
All
Sam?
right.
Did you say Chocolate Donut Day or something?
I did.
It's not that.
You are correct, sir.
All right.
You are correct, sir.
Well,
okay.
Let's hope somebody takes the hint and brings in chocolate donuts today
wouldn't that be nice?
For Gordy.
Yeah. I love chocolate donuts, but I haven't had one in maybe a year.
You like the cake donuts, right?
The
chocolate cake donuts
I've kind of sworn off donuts. I really, I'm trying to, I've lost a little bit of weight. I've lost 22 pounds since we started working here. So, anxiety, nervousness, crazy.
Yeah. Well, you've taken on a few more responsibilities.
I do what I can. Yeah. So let's look at National Classic Movie Day. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, classic. You're into the movies big time.
I am.
Well, today we're
It's my
celebrating
day.
National Classic Movie Day by reminiscing about the movies we have seen on the big screen. So grab some popcorn, a drink, find a cozy chair to relax in as we celebrate National Classic Movie Day. It presents an opportunity to celebrate the film industry and spotlight iconic movies, blah, 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 blah. What do you consider a classic movie?
We were
Something
talking about that.
very
in,
memorable.
This theme song. We talked about favorite themes
Right.
of movies,
Yeah,
and Pink Panther was yours.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is just, it's great. Henry Mancini.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much better.
Well, he was top form back then.
Yeah. This was one of his big hits.
It was.
Yeah.
How old does a movie have to be considered classic?
That's a great question.
Well, I don't know. I don't
10
think
years
age
old?
has anything
No?
much to do with it.
No?
Okay.
You kind of get a feel for a classic movie when you see it.
Okay.
That's
Bo-
true.
Body
That's fair.
Heat. You asked me what my favorite theme was, and just off the top of my head, Body Heat was
William Hurt.
fantastic.
William Hurt and Kathleen
Kathleen
Turner.
Turner,
Boy,
yeah.
boy, oh boy. And Ted Danson was in
Yeah,
the movie.
that was a fantastic performance by Ted.
It really
Just
was.
an amazing. Oh, by the way, and we can't forget, I don't remember the actor's name, but who played the detective. I mean, he was really good.
Who played
The
the
black guy.
detective in Body Heat?
And
We'll
this,
have to-
and this theme rolls as we see Kathleen Turner on the beach.
at the end of the...
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
the guy is with her, and he goes, he says something foreign, you know, and she
Yeah.
goes, "What?" And he goes, "It is hot." And, you know, I can't,
Fade to black.
I
yeah.
honestly cannot get that out of my head. And then,
I've
and then
never heard of this movie before you guys
Oh,
told me
man,
about
you
it. I
gotta
gotta
see-
see this thing
yeah.
now.
It is.
When William Hurt throws that chair
Yes,
through the
window.
through
Oh
the
my God.
window or
What
the
the
door.
heck? Yeah,
oh
door
my
window.
God! Yeah,
Now
look
I thought
out.
that was over the top. I thought, wait a minute,
That's
what?
crazy.
No one would do that because she's
Nobody.
got to fix that by the time her husband comes home.
That's right. We'll get into what other days of the week it is today, or the National Day calendar.
All right.
More of it coming up on the John and Gordy Show. At Radio 92.7 WMDX.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
Mr. Rogers.
It's a neighborly day in
Can
this
you ever hear
beauty
this and
wood,
not
a
think of
neighborly day
Eddie
for a
Murphy?
beauty. Would you be mine?
Yeah, it was a great bit.
Could
It was
you
good.
be mine?
Mad Radio
Mr.
WMDX, 92.7 FM, 1580 AM. And it was a good biography, too. Well,
What, about with Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
On,
That was pretty good.
Yeah. Fred Rogers.
It's one, I mean, you can't find anything in his closet. I mean, this guy had his sweaters in the closet, and that was it.
Yeah. And some
Nothing in
shoes.
his past that anybody could object to. He was just a really, really good guy.
Super nice guy. And
Yeah.
it's National Do Something Good for Your Neighbor Day. So
There you
that's why we're playing that. And you can never fail when following the golden rule, John. Love your neighbor as yourself. So Do something good for your neighbor
I wonder
today.
if we could get that
Uh,
Saturday Night Live bit with Eddie Murphy doing.
I was wondering
Mr.
what you were
Rogers?
talking about.
Mr.
That's kind of what
Robinson?
I assumed. I've never seen
Okay,
this.
just
Oh.
Google Eddie Murphy. Good.
Yeah, it starts off right
Mr.
away, so-
Mr. Robinson.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
SNL.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
All right.
So, do you know your neighbors? Do you know your the
I do.
neighbors in your?
I
you know,
do, yes.
I don't know my
Yes.
new neighbors yet. I haven't met anybody in my new neighborhood, but because I just moved there. But
Always
you
good
know,
to know them.
yeah,
if
I was
you
thinking
can.
about going over there. With a plate of cookies or something.
Oh, don't do
and
that.
Introduce myself like they do in the movies. Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be a movie
Hi.
about that someday where the new
Funny.
neighbor comes in with poison cookies and
Yeah.
kills all his neighbors off so he can buy up their homes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it is National Do Something Good for Your Neighbor Day, so please do that.
Yeah.
And do you have that, Sam? No.
It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
It's one hell of a day in my neighborhood. A hell of a day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I hope I get to move in your neighborhood someday. The problem is when I move in, y'all move away. Couple up with some coke and some smoke. You bring the stands, go Robinson broke. Will you be mine? Won't you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Hello, boys and girls. We're all alone again today. You know why? My wife walked out on me.
Okay.
Isn't that nice? I'm so
That's
glad-
Eddie Murphy, Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. Well, here's some ways you can help your neighbors, okay? Help a neighbor bring their garbage bin to the curb
No,
on
don't.
garbage day.
Maybe we should stop now.
Offer to weed their flower bed.
John, are you just
Okay.
not a good neighbor?
Yeah.
No, can you imagine taking
When-
your neighbor's garbage to the curb?
Just being nice.
They still, they probably have everything built up in the house ready to go out. And you're taking their
The cans
out
at the road, and then they're gonna go and bring the
They're
garbage
gonna,
out.
yeah, they're going to be really angry. They're going to dig up their
Well,
flower
okay.
beds. Is that what you're talking about
No.
next here?
Yeah, weed their flower bed.
Oh, but
Okay, if
no, you
that-
wouldn't do that. How do you know it's weeds?
Well,
Maybe they
that's
put
right.
something in there that you
Could be.
didn't recognize.
Or how about this one? Why not try this then? When running errands, ask if there's anything the neighbor needs. Be that annoying guy. Need anything? Going down to the Costco, anything? Invite them over for a cup of tea or coffee. See, that's nice. Drop a note in the mail, just letting them know. Drop a note in the mail?
You don't. Oh my God! How old is?
I don't know.
Oh boy!
Okay.
You can't put stuff in people's mailboxes.
Yeah,
either.
that's-
That's illegal.
No, that's not a good idea.
No.
Nope. Okay, what else? Let's see.
Boy,
let's
that's a
run
lot of
through
bad
these.
advice in that one. Just that one alone.
How about piercing day? What's that all about? National Piercing Day. Have you ever had your ears pierced, John?
No.
Okay,
No.
anything else?
No. That's the thing.
yeah, I know.
Who's crazy enough to have anything else pierced?
Listen, some people are really into it,
Yeah.
and good for them. In times past, pierced ears were about the limits of what
Mm-hmm.
we saw, but today the number one type of piercing is the nose and nostril.
That's right.
You do see that a lot. It's quite common. Yes, body piercing has increased in popularity. Its history dates back to biblical times. Sam, have you ever considered getting anything pierced?
I've thought about piercing my ears just to wear like goofy, weird earrings.
Yes.
But haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Okay. Some piercings include eyebrow piercings, bridge of nose. I mean, we can go run through the list here, but
Let's go to
I don't
the
think it's
lower
a
body
septum.
part. So you go
No,
ahead.
that's
Go ahead.
okay.
Describe
No, I don't
those.
think so. It's a family show, remember?
Oh, that's
Okay?
right.
All right.
That's right.
Okay. And let's wrap this up with Sea Monkey Day. Oh, you're waving at people outside now?
Yeah.
Okay.
These women are walking by and they're looking up like they could actually see in.
I don't
this
think
window.
you can really see through that
I don't
window
think
very
so.
much. It's difficult. Okay.
But
what was I
I
looking at?
tried.
National Sea Monkey Day. What are sea monkeys anyway?
That,
They're just,
you know what?
They're odd. They're just weird.
Well,
they're
they're
just like
weird.
seahorses, but
Yeah.
monkeys.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Sea monkeys. The tiny brine shrimp is better known by its brand name, Sea Monkey. Let's see. Filled magical little creatures. They hatch before your eyes. Okay. I don't really know. Sea monkeys actually have been in space with astronaut John Glenn. He took them into space the second time he went up there
Wow.
in 1998 aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery.
Funny we didn't hear about that.
Yeah. They returned to Earth after spending 9 days in space, and the eggs hatched 8 weeks later, apparently unaffected by the travels to space. You know, they were experimenting with all kinds of things like that.
Didn't they use sea monkeys for food?
I think they
If you use it in a
may
fish
have.
tank.
I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Let's crack open the history books.
All right,
Let's move this
Oh,
along.
boy.
Let's leave that behind.
We've got-
I don't know.
We've
You
got
know,
a
it's
funny
sea
story.
monkeys.
We've got a funny story to kick things off. So,
Okay.
so what happened today? That's the first part. 1866, Congress creates the 5-cent coin, and the nickel is born.
Wow,
That's a
fantastic.
momentous
The
day.
Indian had-
Before the
Indian
nickel
had
was
nickel.
created, however,
Yeah.
there was a 5-cent paper bill, and it was initially meant to honor Meriwether Lewis from Lewis and Clark.
Oh,
But the legislation they passed to create that bill only mentioned Clark by his last name. The guy running the U.S. Mint at the same time had the same last name.
Yeah.
And so he put his face on the bill instead
Oh.
of Meriwether
oh
Lewis.
my God!
He put his own face on
yeah,
there?
yeah.
That didn't turn out well.
Bet.
And so they retracted all of the bills and created the nickel instead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or today we would have a bill, a 5-cent bill.
5 cents.
Wow.
Well, 5
Okay.
cents went a long way back in the day.
Okay. What
Let's
else
see.
happened?
1965, Campbell's releases SpaghettiOs.
Oh, spaghetti.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
You don't like them?
No.
Oh, I haven't
for
had them in
kids.
quite a long time.
For
well,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good nostalgic memory of like being homesick, having a can of SpaghettiOs, something like that.
You know, I think it costs more just for the Parmesan cheese that you put on top of it to hide the flavor of the
Flavor,
spaghetti.
yeah,
Oh,
not a
yeah.
really good taste.
No.
I was asking you about this one earlier. 1966, the Beach Boys release
Yeah.
Pet Sounds.
Yeah, what a great album.
Monumental.
Oh, yeah.
Just, one of the best albums of all time, and I
Mm-hmm.
understand there's a tie-in with the Beatles in regards to that. Why
Yeah.
don't you fill us
Well,
in there,
that's
Gordon?
after
You're the
Pet-
Beatles authority.
The Beatles really loved Pet Sounds.
Well, here's one of the best songs off of it is
Yeah.
Caroline Home.
Yeah, Pet Sounds, great album, and the Beatles loved it so much they were like, "Boy, we gotta top that somehow."
Yeah,
So, guess what they came up with? Sergeant Pepper. Huh? Okay. More of John and Gordy coming up.
You'd never change.
FM at 1580 AM. Madison, the John and Gordy Show, and that is the familiar
Yes.
Tinklings, Liberace. I'm not quite sure what they call it when you play the piano
When you
like
tickle
that.
the ivories.
Tickling the ivories.
Tickling
That's
the
good.
ivories.
Yeah, let's go with that.
You know, it's amazing
Liberace. Why are we
Li-
playing Liberace?
I used to call him Liberace when I was a little kid, and I had to play piano. My mom made me get piano lessons because of Liberace.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, we watched Liberace every chance we got.
Did
She thought you were going to be a prodigy just like him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, what a
She dressed you
disappointment
up
that
in-
must
Well,
have been.
from Milwaukee, you gotta
Oh,
play
that's
a
right.
piano.
He was from Milwaukee. So
Yeah.
did she dress you up in sparkly clothing
Well,
and have a
would've come
candelabra
next.
on the
That would have
piano?
come next if I had played piano. And things would have gone dramatically different after that.
So it was Liberace. He was born on this date, apparently,
Yes,
right?
back in
1919.
1919. The thing is, he was really a great piano player.
He was, yes.
But on top of that, he was a showman, and the way he bounced his hands up and down while he played the piano, that was the amazing part.
He was very flamboyant,
Very
Yeah.
flamboyant.
very much a showman.
Hands would spring up in the air off of
and he
that
was always smiling and
Oh,
looking
yes,
at the camera.
yes. And that,
just-
that
yeah.
hair that he had,
the
my
pompadour,
God.
yeah. Okay.
He was the first Elton John.
Well, yeah, actually.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Any other birthdays of note today, Sam?
Janet Jackson,
Oh.
another musician, born today in 1966.
Okay.
Okay, that's not a note.
Do we,
Okay.
Let's forget that one.
we have any Janet Jackson hits?
Oh,
to
no,
play?
we don't.
We
We
do?
really don't. I don't think
think
she
we
had
do.
one. I don't think she had one.
Come on.
Top Gun was released. We didn't
Yeah.
mention that.
I still haven't seen the original Top Gun. I
Oh,
saw
oh,
the
that's a
sequel
great
a couple
movie.
years ago.
Did you
Wow.
see the most recent one?
Yes.
That
yes.
was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
didn't think that was very good. You know,
I
we
didn't
were
see
sitting
that.
in the movie theaters watching the trailer for it, and it was just awful. It was god awful. Oh, it was just loud music and, you know, this macho talking back and forth to the other, pilots. And it was boring as heck. And then we saw it finally on TV when it made it to the streaming services. And we really loved the movie.
Yeah.
Amazing
No
that they
kidding.
actually pieced something together from such a thin script, and
Yeah.
it turned out pretty good.
Are you a Tom Cruise fan generally?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually am.
I like the action movies like that.
Oh, yeah. Mission Impossible.
And Jack Reacher.
Yeah,
I
Jack
like that
Reacher.
too.
Although the
Yeah.
newer version of Jack Reacher is pretty damn good
Yeah?
on Amazon. Yeah. Yeah,
Who's
the
in
guy
that?
that plays him. Oh, man.
wow.
This guy is so big and so
Yeah.
built.
Yeah, brawny.
Oh man!
Yeah.
And the thing is, and what Anne likes about him, you know, she's an author and she loves the whole genre of fiction. Reacher is exactly the way he's described in the book.
Really?
Now on Amazon, the latest series that they have, because he was a gigantic man, just gigantic, very threatening looking when he came into a room.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great movie and a great TV series.
Who plays him now? Is that this guy? Here,
Yep, that's
down-
him.
What's
Yeah.
his name? Mm-hmm.
Now he was he played in Titans, which was on the Warner Network at one time. They canceled that once Warner changed hands.
Alan Ritchson. Richson?
Yeah, Richson.
Okay.
And he was big, and he played one of the he played a superhero,
Okay.
Hawk, and
Okay.
Dove. Hawk and Dove were the superheroes,
Ah.
and he played Hawk, and they blew him up to get him out of the series.
That's what they do now. They
It
just
kind of freaked
make-
everybody out. We didn't expect him to die.
get these superheroes going. They just build them up, and then
he-
boom, they're
yeah,
gone.
They kill them off, and that's
Yeah.
kind of a latest thing, I guess, with Gen Z. They
That's
want
the
to see
deal.
all these superheroes die, which is a big pet peeve of mine. I've mentioned it a few times on the show.
Yes, you have.
All those Marvel movie characters, the legends, were all killed off, kind of, or just retired. They're kind of stupid.
Okay.
Thanks
I wonder
for
if the
leading that.
actors who played all these characters just got sick of everything and kept doing movie after movie, and that's why they had to get killed off.
Actually, they didn't.
No.
Oh, really?
Robbie Downey Jr. loved playing Iron Man. Would love to
Oh.
play Pete Stark again.
Yeah. That's Iron Man. I really liked
Yes.
all of the Iron
Yeah.
Man. What are there? 3 of them now?
Yeah,
Okay.
and Chris Evans played Captain America, and he'd love to play Captain America again.
Yeah.
Black Widow would have been really nice for Johansson to play again, but they killed her off.
Oh, well.
Way to spoil all of Endgame. I still haven't seen like
spoiler
the
alert.
last 2 Avengers movies and like everyone that died.
Uh-oh.
Oh well.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's 5 years in the past. I'm a little behind the times.
Yeah. Well, you can catch up. There are very entertaining movies. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great special effects.
Boy, the clouds are rolling in here. I think we're going to get that rain a little earlier.
Yeah, a
than we
little earlier than 1 o'clock they were
talking
predicting
about.
anyway.
Yeah. It's 53 degrees now.
yeah.
And high around 72. Yeah. Baseball is getting into gear. The Brewers and the Cubs. And,
Yes.
as that happens, you start thinking. I know football fans are already thinking, okay, baseball's underway. Football ain't far behind.
Exactly.
It's like 3-4 months away.
Can't wait.
Yet. By the way, what's Aaron Rodgers been up to lately?
Yeah, I'm looking for that story. I brought that story in.
Yeah, well.
All right, why don't we get cut 90 queued up?
Because, he was a Packer for so long. Now he went to the Jets. He was in the game for, 5 minutes and then busted his Achilles heel.
Right.
So I haven't heard.
What a
is he
dramatic entrance.
Is he okay?
That guy is doomed to failure. Seriously. He
hasn't been in the
questioned vaccines for COVID.
Yeah.
Danced around that a while, and just the dancing itself looked pretty stupid and made him look pretty stupid. Well, he's out there again now, and he's a big supporter of Putin. Believe it or not.
Wait, what?
Putin.
No.
Oh yes.
How is that?
He was talking about Tucker Carlson's interview with Putin, and Putin, remember, kind of, took a jab at Tucker for letting him go on and on about Russian history.
Okay.
Right? And this is Putin's version of Russian history. Putin, of course, ex-KGB. You think maybe he had a little propaganda
Possibly.
salted in there somewhere. But
Yeah.
anyway, that story that Putin gave to Tucker Carlson was the real history of Russia.
According to
And
Vladimir.
According to him, and now Aaron Rodgers. Let's play that cut.
I was just like, no, I'd love to see Joe Biden give an interview where he can speak on the history of the United States in the same way that Putin talked about the history of his country.
What an idiot. God, please, please, just go away, Aaron.
Just go play football.
As much as I dislike what Favre did in regards to a charity
Yeah.
and that money, nothing as bad as what Rodgers is doing right now.
It's over the top.
I am done with Aaron Rodgers. Thanks for the years, Aaron, but I can forget those easily.
Okay. We've got to move on.
He didn't play with the passion that Brett Favre did. Favre played like a child out on the playing field.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was so wonderful about watching him play. It was just a
Yeah.
reckless charge.
Yeah,
of
you just
everything.
never knew what he was going to
Yeah.
do next.
And Aaron Rodgers was an angry man. You could tell. You tried to like him over and over again, but you just couldn't like him. And now you really, really dislike him. Taking the side of Putin and his version of Russian history, Mr. KGB. Oh, I'll take that one.
Well, the pressure's really on Aaron Rodgers now. I mean, after last
Now
year,
he's got to come back.
He's got to come back, in a new team, a new city, and having a whole year to prepare now and get, healthy again. Let's see what happens.
Well, we'll see what happens, but I don't know.
The pressure's on.
The other day we were talking about the price of oil and the price of oil being fixed. And Representative Rosa DeLauro, she brought this up on the floor and of the House the other day, and she amplified the FTC's finding that oil price fixing was going on. And they're investigating now these oil companies and OPEC. The thing is,
they've always
the
been
oil price fixing conspiracy that took place between an oil baron and OPEC is responsible for at least 27% of what we experienced in inflation. That's a huge percentage of the inflation factor.
It's enormous.
Yes.
So they're finally investigating this?
They're finally looking into this.
It's about time.
And I want you to notice who's talking about it. This is Democrat Representative Rosa DeLauro, okay?
Okay.
Now she's talking about, let's let's hear cut 92 and what she's had to say about this incredible plot.
At the beginning of this month, you uncovered disturbing evidence of a big oil executive colluding with the OPEC to inflate oil prices, leading to pain at the gas pump and at the airport for millions of American families, all for the sake of higher profits. This right here is exactly what we mean when we talk about corporate greed driving inflation. Big energy companies would rather collude with a cartel of authoritarian states than let the free market truly determine the price at the pump. And we do not have a shortage of gasoline and oil. It's no shortage. It's shameless profiteering at every opportunity that shows why we must do everything that we can to support the FTC.
Again, you notice that this is a Democrat talking about this plot, this conspiracy, price fixing, right? Notice that there aren't any MAGAs out there at all, not even mentioning this story. They're beating Biden up for inflation,
Yes.
yet they're not bringing up the price fixing, which raised inflation by at least 27%.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot this summer or this spring as I've been driving back and forth a lot. I mean, definitely the prices have inched up quite a bit over the last 6 months. But price fixing's always been kind of an issue, and the government has to crack down on it from time to time. Remember back in the 60s when JFK brought the oil company executives into the White House. He ordered them to come in, and he told them to knock it off.
Yes.
I mean, those were the days when the president had some power, and so if you don't fix this by not fixing the prices, I'm gonna rip into you publicly.
Yep.
And he did. And they knocked it down. They
Well, Republicans today aren't outraged.
it doesn't happen
There's
like
no
that anymore.
outrage over price fixing of oil that raised inflation in this country, the very issue they're running on in November. Now, get this. They figured this out here. This huge conspiracy cost Americans $500 to $1,000 per year, according to their estimates. The oil industry's surge from a likely loss in 2020 because no one was driving anymore, to more than $238 billion in profits in 2021, and then double that, $451 billion in profits in 2022. And you think maybe they were gouging and price fixing, you think?
Yeah.
Right?
I
and
think
then
so.
Pioneer Oil's former CEO, Mr. Sheffield, they sold their company to Exxon. But anyway, he was not allowed to be on Exxon board. He was banned from it. This in 2021, this is what he sent out. He made this is a quote. All the shareholders that I've talked to said that if anyone goes back to growth, in other words, putting supply in, they will be punished. Those companies will be punished.
Wow.
That's the price fixing that's going on that the FTC is currently investigating.
So they were controlling the inventory and
Yes. And threatened.
and threatening.
If they put more oil into the system,
Hey.
there would be something to pay. And while
So then
voters
what
are,
happened?
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. And while voters are out there blaming Biden and voting for Trump, the real crime goes unnoticed by the MAGA contingent, the voters out there, despite the very real problem of greedflation. And I guess that really never caught on. I like the term a lot,
Yeah.
but it hasn't really caught on. The government filed a price-fixing suit also. Get this.
Yeah.
This is all involving inflation. A suit against the meat industry.
No
Against
kidding.
data consultancy AgriStats for coordinating pricing and production among meat processing giants. And because there are only a few of them now, this is easy to do. Similar lawsuits have been filed against providers of hotel industry software, pricing services, along with the largest lodging chains, Hilton, Hyatt, and Choice. They all coordinated in their software to raise the prices.
We've got more on all this coming up.
All right.
I'm John and Gordy.
little bit low. Gotta fuel up the heart and soul, and this is what I found.
So
I'll take the six
a
pack.
little bit of God Bless Quick Trip.
Really? Really?
Do you know who this artist is?
I just found them now. This is Dan Lepian.
Okay. Well, we've
Let's
got to
listen to that something.
Yeah, let's listen.
Breadsticks, the teasers, one stop for all your love. Man, I just gotta say, God bless Quick Trip.
Wow.
They've done well for
You
themselves,
know
haven't
you've made
they?
it.
Yeah.
You got a country song written about you.
I guess so.
Quick Trip named 2024's best gas station brand in the country
No kidding.
by USA Today. That's incredible, isn't it?
They do a poll?
Yes, they did. And Quick Trip was named the favorite gas station brand in the country and the third best gas station for food. I think they've got great food there.
It is pretty good, I got to say. They
And-
stepped it up.
Okay, well, everybody's
Yeah.
turning off the station now because,
No.
you know, it's a conservative gas station and no one
Well-
wants to go there. I get it. But, you know,
No.
they're doing a really good job.
With Quick Trip, you just kind of have to look the other way.
You really, you have to. Like Menards, you go to Menards for yard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Menards is, you know, a true conservative and a polluter. But still, you go there because it's crazy. It's eclectic. You don't know what they're going to have at Menards.
Yeah, what's
you
going to be
know?
on sale?
They sell
out in the Ohio's.
furniture, you know.
I know.
So
Quick
you know,
Trip,
yeah.
Quick Trip's all over now. I mean, it's all. You know, we always think of it as a Wisconsin company,
Yeah.
but it's in Iowa and Illinois and Michigan and Minnesota, South Dakota. They're spreading nationwide, and now to be named the best gas station in the country.
That's right. They're basically in the Midwest here, but they are the best gas station
Yeah.
in the country
In the
right now,
USA.
according to USA. I don't know when they took that poll, but
No.
you know, USA Today is out there.
Well, you know, it's kind of reminds me of the old little grocery store on the corner, you know, way back. I mean, it's a throwback to, they've got a little bit
That's
of everything.
how they started. That's
Yeah.
how they started.
Yes.
And then they added gas,
Yeah.
and wow.
Yeah.
And then they created
Took
their
off.
own company. They process their own food, their own
Yeah,
brand.
They distribute everything themselves. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
they're
and it-
everywhere.
and it's clean.
Yeah.
You go to the restrooms there; it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I use them when I'm out on the
Big
road.
endorsement.
Well, you know, it's better than going into a mobile station someplace.
Well,
Sorry, nothing against mobile. I'm just saying that you know, it's different.
Or a mom and pop gas station.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If there are any of
I
those
went to a
left.
gas station. I was traveling yesterday. I went to Baraboo and then over to Richland Center.
Yes,
There's a little gas station in Gotham, which is a little tiny crossroads
Mm-hmm.
there. It's the only thing in the crossroads is this gas station.
Yeah.
Did not have any place for a card. Had to go in and
Wow.
actually pay
Oh,
for the gas.
no.
Yeah. Yeah. They turned on the pump. The pump turned on.
Wasn't there?
There was no way to pay at the pump. Just go in. It's just on the honor. You know, go in and pay. So,
I remember they
like the
passed
old
some
days.
kind of law in the state, and everybody had to update their pumps.
Well, they didn't do it there.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a gas station kind of by my parents' house in Wausau.
Yeah.
That's just like that. The only reason I ever went there is because their gas was like 15 cents cheaper than anywhere else in town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah, I was
great.
sitting there. I drove in and I went to get, you know, I drove in next to the pump, and I'm sitting there. I was on my phone. And I was texting somebody, and you know, it was about 5 minutes to 8, and I hadn't gotten out to pump the gas yet. I'm just like, you know, okay, I'm texting, and this lady comes out and knocks on my window. I said, I'm closing up in 5 minutes. Are you going to get some gas? I was like, oh, okay. All right, we'll do.
Hey, do you know what texting is?
No. Yeah.
You can't
And then
interrupt the person texting.
I went to go, you know, put
Yeah.
my card in the pump. No place to
Nothing
do
there.
that. Just an
Unbelievable.
old-fashioned pump. Yeah.
Well, I know I brought out my card when we went to the Barrymore.
Yeah?
Cash only.
Oh, yeah, that's
Remember?
right. Yeah, cash only at the Barrymore Theater.
That's crazy.
Well,
What
it's
is
just
happening here?
You know, people, they can do what they want. I mean, that's fine. They don't have to mess with the cards there. So,
Well, yeah,
you know,
hotel celebration. We just went to the award show, and they had cash only there too. As
at
well.
the Marriott.
Yeah, I can't
Well,
figure out what's going on. All I have to do is put a little USB swiper in their phone.
They don't want to pay the fees.
They don't. Okay.
Yeah.
That's one reason.
And then you've got other places in town that are card only.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
People can't pick one side or the other.
I know. I know.
Seems inconvenient some way.
Well,
Yeah.
look, the economy is doing really well. Okay.
Okay.
And this last week has really hit the high chart.
Okay.
Because these are some of the headlines across the country right now. Inflation eases as core index hits lowest level since 2021. That's in the Wall Street Journal.
Okay.
Finance and Economics, their headline, America is in the midst of an extraordinary startup boom. Yeah, this was
Wow.
a really big story.
Okay.
A lot of companies are starting up. How the country revived its go-getting spirit. Remember, they can't do anything. Republicans
Yeah.
constantly say, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, no, that's not the American spirit that I'm familiar with since the 1950s.
Okay.
And then NBC News had this silver lining for consumers. Food price growth has gone flat, and the prices of many other goods are actually falling. And then CNBC had this, Financial Network, S&P 500, NASDAQ rise to all-time highs after light consumer inflation report.
Mm-hmm. So things are perking up in the economy.
Things are doing really well.
Yeah. Well, the grocery prices, though, that's still a big thing. I'm glad to hear that they're starting to ease that and they're starting to go in the right direction. But I haven't noticed that yet much in our local grocery stores. So let's get on board
You
with
got
that.
to shop at the right place.
Okay.
I don't like
I
to
don't.
endorse grocery stores.
I know you don't. But
Yes, I'm known for that.
we know. Yes. Yeah, you don't endorse grocery stores except for Woodman's.
Yes, Woodman's. I love Woodman's. They have the lowest prices.
You're part of the Woodman's family. Let's face it, right?
See, look,
Aren't you related to Woodman's?
Menards is very eclectic, right?
Okay.
Well, on the grocery end of it,
Yeah.
Woodman's is very eclectic. They have some crazy stuff.
They do.
They do, and
Well,
great
it's-
products.
Yeah.
And then
it
they
brings the
drop 'em.
people in.
It
I mean,
does.
that's the way to get
It does.
attention. That's
I was
the
there
way.
yesterday.
Were you?
It's
What'd
not
you buy?
often that I go to Woodman's, but I happened to be in the area and needed some groceries.
Really
so-
good pricing.
It is. Yeah,
It
I
is.
should go there more often.
Yeah. and so when
Not
people,
an endorsement.
people
but,
go to those other grocery
Yeah,
stores,
those
with,
other
they
ones.
have to compete.
Yes,
They're
they do.
chains, and they don't have to compete. They don't know what's going on at Woodman's, and they have the higher prices. And I think they should start competing locally with Woodman's.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get some competition in here, right?
I totally agree. Hey, guess what? Coming up in our next hour, we've got a guest, Max Blaska. He's going to tell us all about the Mental Health Warrior Film Festival, which is coming soon to Easttown. We'll have Max in our studios coming up.
Hump Day's also in the news. So
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
All right.
Let the sunshine.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
Do you know what this means?
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
You're pretty high and far out, aren't you? What kind of kick are you on, son?
No good bastard. Your show sucks.
What made me think this was a good day to stop drinking?
Buddy, you want coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Black coffee.
Coffee?
Coffee.
They warned us about people like you!
What a load of crap.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
We'll do it live.
And that's the way it is.
Only on Mad Radio 92.7 WMDX. Take it away, boys.
That's the way to do.
They did warn
Yes, they did.
about us.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
It is.
That's us, him and me.
WMDX, and
Yep.
we're looking out on the street here, State Street, and
Right.
It's sadly we keep you updated constantly on the show, and we apologize for that.
Well,
'Cause no one cares.
No, but
they have a leaf blower, and they have a street sweeper, and a sidewalk sweeper, and they've got the garbage guys going through constantly.
Well,
picking
if
up
you're
the
watching on
garbage.
Facebook or on YouTube or wherever else,
If you can,
X.
if you're watching, you can see that they're starting to dig up our sidewalk right down the street.
And why?
100 yards away from us.
Suddenly they're just ripping up the sidewalk right in the middle of that block.
Another amazing bus stop. Let's put
Oh,
another
is that what
one
it
in.
is,
I
maybe?
I have no idea, but I'm not happy about this. And I know the guy, the leaf blower. Where's he going to go now?
I don't know.
What's he going to do?
They've got a big
Did they
crew
lay
out
him
there.
off?
They've got the crew out there. Everybody's standing around watching the guy.
John, you've lived in Madison for more than 40 years. You should know at this point, construction constantly is the name of the game.
Never ends.
That's true. But
Never ends.
of course, it creates employment,
Yes.
high-paying jobs, and we can't complain about that. But they're out here ruining our view. In other
Well,
words,
maybe they're digging a hole for another tree. Looks like that could be a tree, another place for a tree right there. No?
it looks like
don't
they have
think so?
enough trees already.
Okay. Yeah.
I could be wrong.
They got to do what they got to do.
Okay. All right. Well, we know that it didn't take long for Biden to get an agreement with Trump on some debating days. There are 2
Yes.
days. The most recent one will be in June.
Right.
This is just so good.
Yeah.
They're not going to have a live audience,
Good.
and the mic is going to be off. The person who isn't asked the question.
Right.
That
Shut
is
off
going
the
to
mic.
that it is just going to change the complexion of the entire debate.
So it'll just be the two of them in a studio, along with an anchor person
Right,
or two.
asking the questions.
Asking the questions.
And when that question is asked of one candidate, the other candidate cannot interrupt and interfere with the answer.
Good.
Which is something that Trump, I'm sure, was planning on. He thought that was his big strength.
Well,
and that's done. And they agreed to it.
Good. And so there are two debates
Right.
agreed
Two
to.
debates.
Yeah.
Yep. I think one in September as well.
Okay.
But anyway, I just thought I'd mention it because I thought these two stipulations were really, really important. I don't know, the people that normally put on these debates, I don't know whether they would have agreed to that or not. That's why Biden went around the normal way of doing this and just, agreed with the Trump team.
I think it's especially good that they don't have a live audience because the cheering just gets out of hand right away.
It is.
And
Yeah.
it's
ridiculous.
It just takes the debate in a whole different direction. So good that
Yeah.
they're not having
Yeah.
a live audience. And, that's the way it should
It's
be.
going to be fair this time, and we'll get the answers very clearly from each candidate.
Yeah, and I like that they're going to turn off the mic of the person that's not supposed to be talking anyway.
And they're very strict about the time limits.
What about stalking? Can they roam around off of the lectern like Trump did that one time with Hillary, just walking in back of her and kind of hovering
I
here
think
and there?
that had more to do with her being a female.
You think so?
Yeah, male
Okay.
intimidation,
Yeah.
white male intimidation
It was
again.
just bizarre.
All right. Well, let's
Okay.
talk about Eric Hovde, stand-up
Oh, do we
comedian
have to?
running
No.
for the Senate against Tammy Baldwin, and
What's
he
he do?
just can't seem to do anything right, and it's almost laughable. That's why I call him a stand-up comedian. But he's working on his act, his routine.
Has he made a new homemade commercial?
I don't know. But
The one where he's holding the baby is just totally uncomfortable to me.
he was
It's just
interviewed, and it was just a disaster again.
Yeah.
Business 101 basically says invest in your business and it will grow. And that's kind of what you can say about the government as well. Spend some tax dollars, the economy will grow, you're investing in American jobs. It's great stuff, and everybody's life becomes easier. and a lot less expensive. Well, the infrastructure bill became law in November of 2021, and after all the spending on COVID, COVID was a separate spending deal. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the infrastructure bills and on and on. So he didn't get that message. He thinks that all the spending during COVID is all the spending that took place by the Democrats in all their, infrastructure bills and so on and so forth, creating jobs, investing in the country, and improving our lives. And he thinks it's all the same thing. And I want to play this cut. You'll get that when you listen to what he has to say here. He doesn't know the facts. It's just all ramblings, clueless ramblings. Let's check out Havdi.
So let's walk through some steps that we need to take to restore our economy. First of all, during the COVID lockdown, government spending spiked up by 40%. Now, you would have thought they would use common sense, and once we came out of the lockdown, then government spending would have dropped by 40% back.
And it did. It dropped.
Okay.
It dropped.
All right.
They stopped it. The programs ran out. Okay. So that spending stopped. Let's continue.
40% back to pre-pandemic levels. But no, that's not what happened. They kept spending like we were in a total lockdown, which is insanity because our population didn't grow by 40%, but somehow government spending grew by 40%. So we first have to immediately drop back down government spending to where it was pre-pandemic level. Then, because we've racked up so much incredible amounts of debt, we have to figure out a glide path to continue to reduce that spending.
All right, let's talk about that debt.
All right, glide path.
Over $7 trillion that Trump added to the debt.
Yeah.
I don't remember him coming out saying anything about that, or in this diatribe that he has, this clueless rambling. He hasn't mentioned the Trump tax cuts. So that added a lot, right? It didn't really spend anything on infrastructure. We ended up spending money on the wall, which was so important to the rest of the country. How did that affect your grocery bill, folks? All right. Okay, let's continue. He continues here.
Then we have to take pro-growth policies.
Yeah.
Deregulation is a big one.
Okay.
So
I got to stop it here.
Wait.
Deregulation isn't a growth policy. Spending money, taxpayer dollars. That's why we spend our money on like infrastructure and maybe making the economy better, or spending it on healthcare, or lowering the cost of Medicare drugs. All of that. So if we just use our tax dollars, that's why we pay taxes, is to put it back into the system and help everybody grow, not just the wealthy, who have already made their success. They've already benefited from society that we all have pitched in to create. They want to just take all the money themselves. Anyway, deregulation isn't a growth policy. Reinvesting in the economy is a growth policy.
We have to do what Ronald Reagan did when he came in 1981 and started a big deregulation program.
Yeah, that's
Ronald Reagan.
That's just brilliant.
Okay.
And that's
deregulation.
That was the trickle down. It was the start of trickle down.
I remember trickle down.
Yes.
Yeah, it didn't work.
No. Voodoo economics.
That's what George W. called it.
Yes.
Yeah, or was it or H.W.?
No, H.W.
Yeah, okay.
Called it that.
His
nice
eventual
going.
vice president, he called it voodoo economics.
And it described it perfectly.
It was,
I mean, they took tax rates all the way down. They were paying high tax rates, and Reagan didn't like that.
Right.
And then the businesses, corporations, got these huge tax cuts. They didn't have to pay these huge taxes all the time. I think it was 80 or 90%. Came way down. They didn't have to reinvest the money to deduct it from their taxes.
Yeah.
They didn't have to reinvest it, so they just took the profits, and that's when companies started,
the corporations kind of took over.
Yeah, they took over.
Yeah. That's it.
So
that's what Hovde wants
so
to do.
Hovde wants to go back to that.
Yeah.
It's a failed
back
policy.
in time.
It didn't work.
Exactly.
And now we're finally getting back to things. COVID kind of shook everything up because everybody started reevaluating their lives and the job that they had and the lack of benefits and the lack of getting raises. And they said no more. And Hovey wants to get rid of all that. He doesn't like change. He wants to go back to the Reagan era. It's just an amazing, startling revelation. And by the way, listening to him talk, do you really think that this guy has a handle on anything at all?
I'm not sure that makes a difference, but he
doesn't sound like he was really very knowledgeable.
The throwback to Reagan is just if we can't.
And
go
he owns
back
a bank. This guy, runs a bank.
Yeah, he owns it.
He's the
CEO.
You got to think he doesn't really have a good grasp of what's going on in the country or investments. But anyway, that's the latest on Eric Hovey, and I hope that everybody feels a little disappointed. And
okay,
please, okay?
Yes.
Let's wrap up this thing on the protests on campus. Remember, the
what's the
protest
latest?
supporting Palestinians was a peaceful protest in Madison and in Milwaukee. Now, we're going to talk about the Milwaukee campus here. Policy did allow for the encampment to continue. That eventually ended with a negotiated deal, which is a fantastic end to that process.
Yep.
And most of it was just taking a strong position for peace and a ceasefire, plus divestment. No one was hurt, but some felt unsafe. This is the part that gets me under my craw.
All right.
There were people that said, I felt unsafe on campus. I was offended by all the protests.
Who was saying that?
Oh, boo-hoo, Oh, no, not that. Well, I want to hear play cut 87 for us.
We don't have time, John.
Oh, no.
What?
Unfortunately.
Wait a second.
Okay.
Really?
All right. Well, anyway, the Milwaukee Jewish Federation, Hillel Milwaukee, and ADL Midwest blasted UWM Chancellor Mark Moen's agreement, saying it's among the most offensive and dangerous of any university agreement reached. Really? Really?
Okay.
Oh, my gosh. UW President Jay Rothman, who had no problem getting rid of DEI, actually believed them and said, I am disappointed by the course taken by the UW Milwaukee, and I am continuing to assess the decision-making process that led to this result. Apparently, protesting at state colleges isn't covered by the First Amendment anymore.
Okay.
Not by these elites.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the Mental Health Warrior Film Festival coming up on May 18th. We'll be talking with Max Blaska. Coming up next. Hello, Max.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Awesome.
Very
Fantastic. Good.
We'll be back pretty quick here in like 20 seconds or so.
Okay.
Max, good to have you with us this morning. So hang on. We'll just get started and jump right into the film festival here in about 10 seconds or so.
Okay.
All right.
WMDX 92.7 FM and 1580 AM in Madison, broadcasting live from the top of our big headquartered building here on State Street, looking down on a little sidewalk construction.
That's what's happening, yeah. It's a cloudy morning, 53 degrees, highs in the low 70s today, maybe a few showers along the way. You know, a week ago, we had the Madison Night Market. last Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was right across the street here. We had our booth.
Huge success.
Well, we had a lot of people stopping by, and we were giving away some T-shirts and handing out some materials
Took
about
pictures
civic media.
with a lot of the people who listen to the show.
Yeah, it was great, and it was really a fun time. And one of the people that we met was Max Blaska. He stopped by, and we were talking about something that he is involved with here called the Mental Health Warrior Film Festival, and we have him on the phone right now. Good morning, Max. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yes. You betcha. So this Mental Health Warrior Film Festival is coming up May 18th at Easttown Mall. Give us an overview of what people can expect to see at the festival.
Well, it is a film festival that celebrates films about mental health and mental resilience. We have about 20 films. It starts at 1 o'clock. We're seating at 12:30 at Flicks Brew House. The shortest film is a 3-minute music video. The longest short is about 30 minutes, and we're ending with a feature, Fang, a horror film.
A horror film at the end, huh?
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
So this is a fundraiser, right?
Yes. All funds raised, all ticket sales go to Camp Creatability, a local nonprofit that helps kids and young adults on the autism spectrum make films, and Rogers Behavioral Health Foundation that helps people who might not be able to afford getting to the life-changing treatment that they do for OCD and eating disorders.
Right. Right.
So tell me, how did you become involved with putting this festival on?
Did that have anything to do with Stephen King's Dollar Baby program?
Yes, actually. In 2023, last year, filmed a film that I co-wrote, wrote called Last Rung on the Ladder, which was one of the last Stephen King Dollar Babies made. He gives you the rights to adapt one of his short stories for $1. And King has very graciously allowed me to screen my film there at the festival on Saturday. And for someone who used to have like crippling social anxiety and depression, I mean, I'm amazed that I'm putting this on. I'm still nervous as heck about Saturday, but I think we're going to have a good show.
Yes. Well, I hope so.
Yeah, so it's May 18th, this Saturday, and do people make donations to come to the film festival, or do you have ticket prices? Can you?
We have ticket prices.
Okay.
Selling on Eventbrite for $15.
Okay.
We are selling tickets on the door unless we sell out before then. And there will be representatives from Camp Creatability, Rogers Behavioral Health, where people can make more larger donations if they would like. We're also having resources from NAMI, Miami-Dade County, the Wisconsin chapter of suicide prevention, a representative from Super Better, which is self-help therapy where you fight your demons and problems gamefully. So it's going to be a mental health event.
And it starts at 1 o'clock this Saturday and goes till how late?
About 9 o'clock. You don't have to stay for the whole thing. I'd like to, but we have intermissions throughout the day, so people can walk around, get some resources from the lounge, or just take a break.
Yep, that's at the Flicks Brew House in Easttown. Now, I still have to make it out there. I'd love to see that place. Now, I kind of want to get a feel for the films here.
Right.
These are all short films, and you said one is a horror film, and is that yours? Is that the Stephen King?
No. Mine is more along the lines of Shawshank Redemption or Stand By Me.
Yeah.
The horror is a more body horror about a guy on the spectrum taking care of his sick mom and gets bit by a rat and thinks he's turning into a rat creature.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing.
But we have, like I said, we have a music video. We have a raunchy comedy about a therapist who tries to get a free vacation by pretending to have a drug addiction. There is a Polish art film. There is a great film by Autumn Rennie, The Feast, which is about battling eating disorder, and one of the best films I think in the festival. And I have filmmakers coming on. Autumn Rennie, the director of that, Richard Berger, the director of Fang. I have people coming from Chicago, New York, LA for my festival. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it is. That is. And it's going to be on Saturday between 12:30 and 8:30, and the tickets are $15. All right. Just to let everybody know that this sounds like a really interesting event. All short films, of course, nothing really long, longer than 30 minutes. And in some of them, of course, through Stephen King's Dollar Baby program, which is kind of weird, the restrictions that they put on that program, right?
Yeah, I mean, Stephen King owns the rights. Owns the rights to it, and I can't use it for commercial use.
Right.
Are there
other films that Stephen King had written that are in this film festival, or is it yours?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, this is the only one.
All right.
Talking with Max Blaska of the Mental Health Warrior Film Festival. And Max, if people want to find out more information about the festival, and you've given us a pretty good overview here, but how do they do that? Do you have a website?
www.mentalhealthwarriorfilmfest.com.
All right. Now, here's the thing, though. You want to see if this can't happen every year. Is there enough material that comes out each and every year that you could put a festival together?
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, I had to turn down several great films this year. No, I mean, there's one of the things that's really, really incredible is people with mental illness, fighting mental illness. They're also very, very creative. So yeah, I believe that there is enough material each year to have this each year.
All right.
Well, very good, Max. And good luck with the film festival.
Yes.
Again, it's at Flicks Brew House, which is at Easttown Mall, this Saturday starting at 1 o'clock. And we hope you have a good turnout there.
Yeah, and we hope it comes back each and every year.
Me too. Thank you so much, guys.
All right. Appreciate the call. Thank you.
Very good. All right. That sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
There. Yeah. Lots of interesting films.
I want to put the stake through the heart of the protests in Milwaukee. Okay.
Are you going to do
I have
that?
a few more little things I wanted to add to that. Very important things.
It's all coming up on the John and Gordy Show for this Thursday morning.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Liquid Lawyer, the product to turn to when your liquid plumber overcharges you.
It's a good product.
Man Radio, WMDX, 92.7 FM, 1580 AM. And we're going to finish up the story I started in regards to the protests on the college campuses in just a moment. But I'd like to, what do you have?
Well, tomorrow we've got, of course, Rocker will be in the studio.
Yes, our
as
music.
he is, previewing Max Inc. weekend.
Statewide music from Wisconsin.
That's right. But we're also going to have another special guest. The rock and roll dentist, Chris Kammer, will be here in the studio with us live.
He has teamed up quite a bit with
Art Paul Schlosser.
Art Paul Schlosser.
Yeah.
Street singer and songwriter.
And I understand, Chris, is he going to bring his guitar with him? I think he may, right?
He said he was going to sing a song. I think he's going to just sing along to a track, though. He's not bringing his guitar.
Is he coming in?
Yes.
Okay, it's on the phone. Okay.
It'd be good to see him. I ran into him a couple of years ago in the Dells, but he's always a lot of fun. And he's known as the rock and roll dentist.
I ran into him recently in the waiting room of his dental office.
Oh, okay.
And he charged me $250. So
just for a conversation in the waiting room? Well, you know, inflation. It'll be fun to see Chris again.
He's got a great song.
Yeah.
And we're going to play a couple of other really good songs. State Street is one of those songs.
Yeah, and he's also involved in some good causes as well. So
yes, we'll hear about those as well. Doesn't drill anymore when he doesn't have to anyway.
Okay.
Got a whole different system going, and he's going to tell us about that as well.
Okay.
All right, let's get to the protests on the Milwaukee campus. They agreed to a number of issues to take care of them, including divestment. But, you know, the big complaint was from the Jewish community there, Hillel Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Jewish Federation. They complained. They felt unsafe on campus. They were offended by the protesters. I guess, you know, a First Amendment right. You shouldn't be able to offend anybody, right? I mean, you know, if you protest, you can't offend anyone. And apparently that's their big issue, feeling unsafe. We don't want people to feel uncomfortable. So let's play this cut 87.
On the UW Milwaukee lawns, pro-Palestinian protesters have called home.
We are the students.
We are the students. Now sit symbolic marks on the grass where their tents were first erected 2 weeks ago.
This encampment was launched to urge UW Milwaukee to end its complicity in Israel's ongoing genocide and occupation of Gaza.
Their demands heard by university administration, striking an agreement Sunday night leading to a peaceful dismantling Monday afternoon. A welcomed sight for some students days before graduation and amid finals.
I wasn't sure, like, is it safe to, let's say, pass by that sidewalk? I would say at least it was peaceful.
And when the deadline to vacate struck Tuesday morning, per the agreement, UWM staff arrived to wash away and cart off was left.
The encampment was the first phase in our efforts.
We recognize that divestment is not an overnight process. However, our coalition will now turn its attention and focus to the foundation in pursuit of divestment.
Even with the physical representation of the struggle now gone, the coalition's fight is far from over. They say depending on how their negotiations go with the UWM Foundation, they could return to an encampment here outside Mitchell Hall in the future. Reporting from UW Milwaukee, Madison Moore, WISN 12 News.
After today's meeting with protesters and the UWM Foundation, they agreed to share the protesters' concerns with the full board and added that future encampments will not be tolerated.
Well, there is backlash tonight over the deal between UWM protesters and the school. In a statement posted on Facebook, the Milwaukee Jewish Federation called on the Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents to negate the agreement, writing, quote, "The chancellor's statement provides no meaningful support to UWM's Jewish community and fails to acknowledge the fear and pain Jewish community members have endured due to the actions of protesters during the encampment and before." UW System President Jay Rothman late this afternoon posted on social media, quote, "I am disappointed by the course taken by UW Milwaukee, and I am continuing to assess the decision-making process that led to this result."
Now, the hurt feelings thing is really bothersome to me.
It's a protest?
Yes.
We don't want to offend anybody.
We don't want to offend anybody.
Protests.
Right.
why protest? Are you trying to get a point of view across that could be somewhat controversial?
I guess
pointed?
It's controversial to ask for a ceasefire or stop the killing in Gaza, a possible genocide. That offends a few people, trying to do that. I don't get it. I don't understand that. And if you are a little bit offended, these are protests, and these people do have a cause. And you should understand or try to understand their side of it. And I don't know why people feel unsafe. I mean, what are you doing that would make you unsafe? It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any at all. Again, it's a First Amendment right that we all have, and that's good. But there is one big problem, and the news never covers it, in regards to this divestment idea.
Okay.
A relatively new law passed in 2018 could preempt efforts to divest. The state statute prohibits state agencies, Republicans passed this baby, the state statute prohibits state agencies or local governments, their units like the UW, from refusing to deal with or terminating business relations with Israel or entities that conduct business in Israel. In doing so, is intended to penalize, inflict economic harm on, or limit commercial relationships with Israel. So you can't do that. The law also prevents state agencies from engaging in contracts above $100,000 with businesses that boycott Israel. In other words, you can't work with a company that makes more than $100,000 if that business does business with Israel.
So that's a law on the books,
right?
Passed in 2018.
Yep, 2018.
And so
it's almost like, well, even if they had an agreement to try to divest or come to an agreement with the UW, they can't, because a state law in 2018 passed then prevents all of that from happening.
Where did you hear about this law? Because this is the first that I'm hearing about.
Yeah, I know. No one's talking about this, and it's a huge stumbling block, and I don't know why the news hasn't covered this.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah.
I had not heard that as well, so... that
puts
kind of puts a whole
everything,
different spin on stuff
I know.
now. Yeah.
So the only thing that they've actually done is supports Palestinians and ask for peace and a ceasefire. Divestment seems like it's going to be off the table.
Yeah.
Because of a state law, and I'm always suspicious of anything that is so incredibly protective of investments and divestments of any country. Why you would force people to invest and they can't divest is a very strange process, and this was instituted by Scott Walker and the Republican legislature.
Okay.
Go figure, right? All right. But now, the other surreal moment is, I still can't get over it. We mentioned this at Short Stack the other day that the Republicans appeared to be speaking when they went to the Trump trials. They went in person live, and they spoke outside the trials.
All the vice presidential candidates, basically.
Yeah, exactly, all dressed the same. And we'll get to the dressing thing from Maddo. I have a quote from her on that.
Okay.
But it's just an amazing thing. We thought, well, they're doing this attack, getting around the gag order that Trump was under.
That's the whole
for
idea.
him. And we didn't, we thought, well, they're doing this for him in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, Speaker Johnson was there. Mike
yesterday,
Johnson,
they all came out and said, yes, that's exactly what we're doing.
Okay.
Tommy Tuberville admits on Newsmax that one of the reasons he went to New York City was to overcome the gag order. Why not just, come right out and say it, right?
That's exactly what he did.
Cut 88. Let's listen to cut 88, and this is Tuberville and his big admission.
Hopefully we have more and more senators and congressmen go up every day to represent him and be able to go out and overcome this gag order. And that's one of the reasons we went, is to be able to speak our piece for President Trump.
Well, that's good. If he can't speak on the sham this trial is, they can't put you under a gag order. Not yet, the way things are going.
That's a nice little scheme there. You're
just coming
right out and telling us.
Yeah.
My God. Oh, guess what? Ron Johnson had a few things to say. Cut 94. Okay. All right.
We take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution.
No, you don't.
And that's one of the ways we do it, by using the pulpit that we have, our platform, to call out when we see abuses. And so the Speaker and other members of Congress and other elected officials, politicians are going up to New York because President Trump can't defend himself. He's under a gag order.
Right, he is.
So other people are going there and pointing out what a travesty this is to our rule of law, to our system of justice.
Oh, yeah. So, the gag order was instituted for one really good reason, and that is to protect the judge from threats and his daughter from getting threats, life-threatening threats.
Yes, that's what was happening.
That's why there's a gag order. So these Republicans, they went there to speak for him to go around the gag order so that those threats continue.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem I have with this.
Well, Trump asked them to do it. Right?
But Midas touches Ron Flipkowski. He wrote, "We have been reporting for days now that Trump is providing daily talking points to surrogates who show up at the trial to violate the gag order for him." And, the order specifically prohibits him from doing this. Public Notice reporter Aaron Ruper followed up with this comment, "Wow. Andrew Rice says that on MSNBC that yesterday during the trial, he personally witnessed Trump editing and making notations to quotes his Republican allies made to the press.
Wow.
I mentioned yesterday that all MAGA elected officials speaking for Trump and threatening the judge and his daughter wore the same clothes." All right. Let's get to
Rachel Maddow.
Rachel Maddow's cut. Do we have that queued up at all?
He's got it.
89?
Yes.
Let's go.
All right.
You wearing the red tie? Yeah, Vivek, I'm wearing the red tie. You got the note about the judge's daughter? I got it, Doug. Byron, you got it? I mean, it is not, they're not even trying to hide what they're doing here.
In court yesterday, actually, I was sitting close enough that I could actually look over Trump's shoulder and see what he was reading. At one point, he was actually reading the quotes that these individuals were, and going through and making notations with a pen on the paper.
Before or after?
While testimony was going on, while Michael Cohen was testifying against him, he was actually going through and annotating and editing the quotes of these.
Yeah, that's organizing and giving them what the talking points that they need to address. And that wasn't Maddow, but 93. Cut 93 is Maddow. And what she said, I just think it's kind of fun to listen to her explain it. Okay.
That one thing that has changed in the Republican Party is that their being in the tank for Donald Trump over the last 5 years has changed and become so much more tanked that they all now dress like him too.
Yes.
They were all wearing the exact same outfit. It was like they were Rockettes.
Yeah.
It's a little bit, I don't know if they do but just to see them all lined up there, I mean, because Mike Johnson is the Speaker, he gets a stripe, but all the rest of them, it's the exact same thing, and they're dressed up like him to praise him. They all use the same language. They all describe him as their friend. I mean, I don't know if Donald Trump has friends. I don't think that Vivek Ramaswamy is one of them, if he does have friends. And this is a display of sycophancy and a job interview, as you say, Chris. But it's also it's also a serious thing, because what they're doing is they're showing up and attacking the judicial system, and I mean, there's more to say about that. But the initial just seeing them all show up together, dressed like a squad, to call him their dear friend when he doesn't know what any of their last names are. I just found it's sad. It's an interesting snapshot of the Republican Party.
It is, and she called it a squad. And also, by the way, AP said this: it was a remarkable moment for modern American politics. The House Speaker amplifying Trump's defense and turning the Republican Party against the federal and state legal systems that are foundational to the U.S. government and a cornerstone of democracy.
Wow. Okay.
Nice. AP, thank you. Finally reporting the way you should report.
Mm-hmm. It is 7:48 coming up. We've got some tidbits. We've got this and that. Oh, you got it. Leftovers next.
terrific if you like eating leftovers.
Leftovers?
Leftovers? I kept the leftovers.
The leftovers!
Just some leftovers.
Leftovers for a week and a half.
He ate those leftovers!
Funeral leftovers.
Today we eat all the leftovers!
I just have leftovers. Leftovers. Enjoy.
Oh, we will.
I love those.
Mad Radio 92.7 WMDX, a leftover story from earlier this morning. We were watching the workers out on State Street trying to figure out what they were doing to the sidewalk, ripping it all up and everything.
Exactly.
They are indeed planting trees.
Yes.
So
that's good.
It closes the
Great.
loop on that
I feel
story.
much better.
Yeah. They're just standing around admiring their work. Think we got enough dirt on there? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Buy those men a coffee.
All right. Okay.
Well, let's take care of one issue. They're moving the DMV on the west side to a different location on South Park Street. Yeah.
Really?
The Village on Park. If you're familiar with the area, there's a McDonald's there. Badger Road is there.
Right.
The interchange for Highway 14 is there.
Yep.
It's right next to that. So it's right there. It's very easy to get to now. It's on the bus line, by the way, and that's always a good thing.
So they're moving it.
The problem that it used to be on Sheboygan Avenue.
Okay.
And it was an excellent location, bus line, easy to get to. Everybody could get their driver's license there and their voting license there. Everything is just fine. But then they move it to the west side. Scott Walker planned this baby out because they moved it to the west side, past Middleton, into a industrial park where there wasn't bus service. So if people are poor and they can't drive out there or they're disabled, they have to find a way to get there because the buses did not go by the DMV. This is a plot to keep people from getting a voter ID. That
was, it more difficult.
That was the idea, right? So, now they've changed that. Now they're moving it to South Park, easy to get to. South Park Street, easy to get to.
Okay.
And that's the great thing about that.
Approximately where on South Park Street? Where, like right off the?
It's
right off the Beltline.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's right. Well, yeah, it's right off the Beltline on Park Street, Badger Road.
Okay.
And everybody knows the McDonald's there, and it's right across the street from. There's a business park there.
Sure.
A small one.
Okay.
With the library and other
when are they doing
this
this?
As well?
Immediately?
Soon. That's going to happen on June 13th. It's June 17th. It will open. They're going to close the one on the west side on June 13th, and then open the new one on June 17th.
Good to know.
Yeah,
so I got to change my driver's license when I'm, moving here to Madison here in the next week or so. Should be done.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and now we can move on to the other story that we haven't been able to get to. It is a Dropbox debate at the Supreme Court. It took place, and it looks like the justices, the liberal justices, are at least for this. But the right-wing justices, they still have the old arguments. They have the very, very strange arguments. And we actually have a cut here of Justice Rebecca Bradley, the worst justice we have on the court right now.
Says you.
She bashed Democrats. She bashed gay people. She bashed everybody when she was in college in editorials that she had. And then she said, well, none of that will affect my judgments on the court. My ass. When we were giving, edicts about staying home and wearing a mask, she called it tyranny, which isn't a legal term that I'm familiar with at this point. Let's play Rebecca Bradley's argument against Dropboxes. Let's listen to
You're
this.
asking this court to give municipal clerks absolutely free rein to disregard the carefully regulated regime established by the people's representatives in the legislature, and they can do whatever they want as long as it's workable?
That is not what we're asking. What we're asking the court to do is to apply the statute as written, and the statute as written does not restrict how municipal clerks may accept delivery of voted and sealed absentee ballots.
Lawyers for state and national Republican Party leaders say changing the ruling now would unleash a new wave of legal challenges.
Republican leaders say they will not go into special session if the justices decide to allow the ballot drop boxes.
The challenge with the Supreme Court is they're ignoring past precedent. They're just throwing it out the window. When there's a previous Supreme Court decision, they're just going to simply override it, which is something courts have historically not done. But, the decision's still being made, and, we're done with session.
I know that this court had overturned a recent decision under the Republican Supreme Court.
Okay.
So I think that's a lie. And past precedent, by the way, is what the Supreme Courts all across the land and the federal government is doing right now to justify what they want as a predetermined result. They're looking at past history. And the past history in this state was in 2020 when the Republicans did endorse drop boxes. They thought it was a great idea at the time. And now, suddenly, they don't think so because Donald Trump asked them to be against them. All right? So hearing Rebecca Bradley, she didn't sound anything like a justice. She sounded like a partisan legislator, basically saying, oh, well, you're giving them the ability to do anything they want, the Election Commission? No, not anything they want. They can't open a store. It just drives me crazy that this person is on the court. She's going to be up for re-election, I believe, in a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
She has got to go, and I hope everybody is, on board with that. She is just the worst.
When will they come up with a decision on this? Is there
soon?
Okay, any day now.
Yeah, well, any time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll keep you posted.
It's not like it's going to be next week or anything, but they do want to get it done by November, which is right at the last minute.
Because we need to know, a little before then.
Some of the pictures they've had on Twitter X.
Yeah.
They have like a mailbox.
Yeah.
A picture of a mailbox.
Right.
And a drop box.
Right.
And they look alike.
They pretty much are the same.
And,
I mean,
and mailboxes that are dependent on, being safe.
Sure.
And delivering the mail.
Yeah, that's
and
what
we
they
put our
do.
taxes in. We put our bill paying in. They seem to work.
They do seem to work.
And the drop boxes, same thing.
Right. No
Fasten
problem.
down, no problem.
Yeah.
And yet, and they're unsafe, and you don't know what's going to happen. You just don't know.
Okay. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt on the drop boxes.
Yes.
So
they really are trying to create a lot of confidence in the electoral system that we have in this country, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
My God.
I don't know. Sam, you have a comment on that?
Well, we have an unrelated comment on Facebook about our discussion earlier of Quick Trip and Woodman's and Menards.
Oh, okay.
No offense, John, but Woodman's is sort of dirty. And as someone who likes to cook vegetables last about 2 days when you get them home.
Oh,
and
well,
they don't like
opinion.
Menards either because they're anti-union. So they can't always look the other way about things.
Well, no, you really can't, and everybody has the freedom to boycott any kind of business they want.
That's true.
But at the same time, maybe that person doesn't do a whole hell of a lot of yard work, and on top of that, maybe they don't cook, or maybe they save their vegetables a little bit too long, or don't store them correctly. Okay, that's my comeback.
John, hey, settle down, will you? Save it. That's it for us. Tomorrow, Rocker and also the Rock and Roll Dentist, Chris Cameron. Have a great day. So long.